Now, after the break, we'll be going on a more than 6,000-mile trek to follow one of our most iconic migratory birds, the osprey, to see if its movements are becoming vulnerable to climate change. And also we'll be asking, despite this rather cold and wet spring, how is our spring overall responding to climate change? Welcome back to the show. Now, at this time of year, some of our most majestic migratory birds are making their way back to Britain from their winter homes in West Africa. Just this week, a breeding pair of ospreys returned to the Loch of Lowes in Perthshire, just 6 hours apart, something that the Scottish Wildlife Trust says has never happened before.
The female arrived back first, started pimping up the nest, and lo and behold, exactly 6 hours later, her mate, LM12, landed on the nest, and they quickly became reacquainted. He was showing off in the sky, doing a sky dance for her, and Julie came in with a fish to seal their bond.
I love those pictures, especially the one of the osprey couple. It looks like they're saying to each other, "How was your journey, dear?" as if they've just come in from work. Osprey's history has been a slightly checkered one. Good of late, they're returning to a number of lochs and lakes, but previous to that, they almost became extinct in this country, thanks to egg theft and other forms of persecution. Their threat now is mainly from climate change, especially on their long migratory route from West Africa. Their epic route takes them from Guinea on the west of that continent all the way up to Scotland and other places in England as well. And they face plenty of challenges along the way, not least storms and the Sahara Desert. And now I'm about to join someone who'll be accompanying them on their journey, and that's Sacha Dench, who's an adventurer and real enthusiast for migratory birds, and she is in Guinea. Sacha, very good to see you. Tell me, exactly what are you going to be doing on your journey, and what do you hope to find out?
So we've been concerned for some time about the ospreys. Obviously, an incredible effort is being put in Scotland and across the UK, and in fact across Europe, to reintroduce the birds where they had disappeared. But now we're still facing a situation where about somewhere between 60 and 70% of young birds don't return. And so we're really interested to find out more about that. So in order to do that, we figured the best possible way to do that was to explore their entire migration range all the way between the UK and Europe and West Africa. So we're going to be doing the journey, hopefully learning from locals all along the route, hearing from them any threats they see the ospreys facing. And we're also trying to look at some of the bigger issues faced by the birds.
And how will you yourself be travelling?
So we will be travelling in a Land Rover. There's 4 of us going to be.
There's a clue behind you, yeah.
There is a clue behind us. It's actually got a pop top as well in it. And so we'll be going mostly by land so that we can meet with people. Some of the key issues where an aerial view will give us an important insight. We'll be using drones.
What could be the threats regarding climate change for these birds?
For example, more extreme weather conditions. So many of the juvenile birds, because lots of them, well, they've basically come from Northern European populations. Most of the young birds, unfortunately, think they're coming from Europe when they do their first migration on their own. So they try to take a much more westerly route, and they end up on the tip of Cornwall trying to figure out which is the shortest route to the next bit of land south. And many of them get blown offshore. So we've already had 2 of our young birds disappear, or one of them, certainly 2 of them disappear. One of them definitely lost out to the sea. They also have the vast expanse of the Sahara to cross, and the Sahara is getting bigger, but also the weather conditions more extreme. There's also some unintended consequences, unfortunately, for us. So we need more renewable energy. Wherever you build renewable energy, there's also the power line infrastructure that's needed, and that is causing a problem for many birds if they aren't constructed in the right way.
Well, we'll be checking in with you over the coming weeks. Just briefly, what kind of things might we expect to learn?
The first thing that we're going to be going to do is trying to find a beloved bird called 4K, who was tagged at Rutland Water years ago. He's now been connected with a local community in the mangrove forests of Guinea, who have renamed the bird. They thought 4K was a ridiculous, unfriendly name. They've called him Dobire. We'll go and find out if he is still where he where he was before. His tag has stopped working. On the way back, we're going to try and find a juvenile bird called Glen, who's already had an incredible venture. He hitched a ride on 2 container ships on the way to get here. He was considered missing twice. Even a police search was sent out for him. But he's decided to stop his migration in the middle of the Sahara and not go forward. So we're going to figure out if this could be a new strategy for birds. But we're also going to go and see sites where we know that some of the key habitats they're using are disappearing, and figure out why.
Thanks, Sacha, and good luck. Well, an amazing journey. Can't wait to see how they get on.